Hello, Sam. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Hello, hello.
Yes, yes. Can you
Yes,
hear
I
me?
can hear.
Right, okay. How are you
Yes.
after a long time? We missed you several times.
Yes. How are you doing?
Yes, yes. I'm all right today. Yes, thank you.
Yes, can you send me to my email? Send me a link to my email.
Pardon?
Can you send me the link for my email to my email?
You're on the link now. Can you see the board?
Yes, not one.
Pardon?
Yes, I can see the board, but I have a problem with my I have problem in my laptop. If you can send it to my email, it'll be better.
Okay. Hold on for a second. Yes, I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send it to you now. Yes, now I send you the link.
Yes.
Yeah, can you see me on the board now?
Yes, I can see you. Yes.
Yeah. And you can hear me?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So can we start now?
Yes. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, now, yeah. Can you hear me now? Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, well.
Yeah. Now, can we start now?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. So last time we started on a subject called relevant costing and decision making. So if you really look at decision making always involves deciding between alternatives. Alternatives means that is what we call a decision, right? We have three options available, and out of that we have to decide what is the best option that we should take it up, right? So ultimately, whatever decision that we take in business should be taken in the interest of the shareholders with the objective of maximizing the shareholder wealth. So therefore, we have to take certain decisions, what we call balancing between alternative. So maybe you have got a big order to sell. Normally, maybe that the price that you are selling the product is $10, right? The product that you are selling is $10 is the normal price. But you can do an order at $8, right? Normally you sell it at $10, but there's a special order coming, but he says you can't pay 10, I will pay you $9. $9. So you have to make a decision. Should I do it at 9? What happens if I do it at 9? Will I make a profit? Number one, right? Because ultimately it must increase the shareholder wealth. So if it is going to make a loss, you should not be making a decision in favor of doing it at 9. But when you are doing it at 9, it's not only a question of making a short-term profit. What will happen to the people who bought the product at 10? Will they also come and ask for 9? And if they ask for 9, what is going to happen? So there are many decisions that you need to take it up. So that is what we call decision making. So on the long term, the decisions what we make can have an impact, because if you try to sell a product at 9, all the people who bought it for 10 also come and say, Sam, hey, I also want it at 9. I also want it at 9. So if everyone wants it at 9, you will not have any sales at 10 and you will lose the market. You will lose the market. But on the other hand, you may find that you can sell it at 10, but there's a special order coming, which if you can sell it at 9, you may not get the big profit, but still you will get some additional profit. Additional profit. So I'm using the term additional or incremental profit. So that is basically what we call the relevant cost, relevant revenue. It is the additional revenue, what we call the relevant revenue, or what we call the additional cost is what we call the relevant cost. So because we take a decision, whatever that additional cost or additional revenue is what we call the relevant cost. So the relevant cost is defined in according to the SEMA as the cost and revenues appropriate to a specific management decision, a very specific management decision. So the moment you make that management decision, what will happen to your cash flow? Will it improve or will it reduce? And if it is going to improve, it's going to be a relevant revenue. If it is going to decrease, it is going to be a relevant cost. So that is what we are. So basically you are looking not of the past, but you are looking the future. Future cost, future revenue. So you already have your cost. So let's, for example, that you are producing some goods, 100,000 units, 100,000 units, and so you are selling it to the market at a particular price, and at a particular price, and you pay your sales rep for selling this 100,000. Maybe you are paying at $5,000 salary, right? But if he is going to sell more than 100,000, if he is going to sell more than 100,000, you have to pay him a commission. You have to pay him a commission. So let's assume that he is going to sell 110,000 units. So the moment he exceeds the 100,000 and goes and sell extra 10,000 units, you have to pay $1,000 commission, additional commission. So the relevant cost to shift from 100 to 110, how much? Relevant cost to shift from 100 to 110,000. What is the cost increase? You are increasing your sales target. your sales from 100 to 110,000. What is the relevant cost increase? Salary is same, correct? Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
You listen to me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I didn't know that you were not there. So I was basically talking to you about the relevant cost. Right? So the relevant cost, I said it's a future cost, it's an incremental cost, it's an additional cost. So what I said was, okay, you have a sales rep who is given a target of selling 100,000 units, and if he sells 100,000, or whether he sells 50,000, or whether he sells 100,000, he gets a salary of $5,000. But you tell him, you sell extra another 10,000, you will be given an additional $1,000 commission. So now my question is,
Yes.
if you try to increase your sales from 100 to 110,000, what is the relevant cost? What is the relevant cost? What is the relevant cost? What is the yeah?
10,000.
Pardon?
10,000.
How much?
10,000 increased.
How much increase?
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000.
10,000.
10,000 sales increase. This is the number of units. But my cost,
Yes.
right? Originally, I was paying him a 5,000 salary. So I told Sam, I'm talking to Sam, if you sell up to 100,000 units, I will pay you 5,000 salary. So if you sell 0 units, I will pay you 5,000 salary. If you sell 10,000 units, I will pay 5,000 salary. If you pay 100,000 units, I pay 5,000 salary. But I tell you, Sam, if you sell 110,000, I'm going to pay you 5,000 salary plus 1,000 commission. So if you sell 110,000, what is the total cost to the company? How much have I got to pay Sam? If you sell 110,000. If Sam sells 110,000, how much the total cost I have to pay to Sam? Total cost, how much? I told Sam.
100,000.
Pardon? Yes?
Yes.
How much?
100.
No, 100,000 units. 100,000 units, not that one. But I'm asking 110,000. 110,000. 100,000 is the sale. Right? I told Sam, if you sell 100,000 units, I pay you $5,000 salary. So if Sam sells 0 units, I pay 5,000 salary. If Sam sells 10,000 units, I pay Sam 5,000 salary, $5,000. Right? If Sam sells 50,000 units, I pay 5,000 salary. If Sam sells 100,000 units, I pay Sam 5,000 salary. So up to 100,000, no change.
Okay.
No change. But I tell Sam, if you sell 110,000 units, I pay you another 1,000 extra commission. Extra commission. So how much will Sam get if the Sam sells 110,000 units?
6,000.
6,000. Very good. 6,000. So what is the increase in cost? Increase in cost. How much? What is the increase in cost?
1,000.
That's correct. That is what the relevant cost is. From 100 to 110, when you move, the relevant cost is the 1,000. That is what we call a relevant cost. The moment you increase beyond the point, now from 10 to 50,000, what is the relevant cost? 10 to 50,000. Sam was selling 10,000, I paid 5,000, and Sam was paying 50,000, also I paid 5,000. What is the relevant cost? Pardon?
So it's the same, no change. No change, 5,000.
Yeah, no change. No,
Zero.
zero. Yes, zero. No change means zero.
Yes.
Relevant cost is zero.
Yes.
So till Sam sells 100,000, the relevant cost, whether it is 0 or 10,000 or 50,000 or 100,000, the total cost is 5,000. Relevant cost is zero. But the moment Sam exceeds
Yes.
100,000 and sell the 110,000, there's a relevant cost of 1,000. So extra cost of 1,000.
Yes.
So I have to compare that one with the profit that I'm going to make by selling extra 10,000. But if by selling extra 10,000, if I can get $3,000 profit, and if I have to pay only $1,000 to Sam, I'm very good. That means I'm making a 2,000 relevant profit. Right, 3,000 is the additional income I'm getting. 1,000 is the additional expenditure I'm spending. So that's a good situation. At 2,000 I'm getting additional. So the word that I'm using is additional. Right? But if the Sam sells extra 10,000 unit, and if I'm going to get a profit of 500, and for Sam if I have to pay 1,000, that's not good. Right? Relevant income is only 500, relevant expenditure is 1,000. So that's going to end up with a minus 500, which is not good. So that is what the relevant is all about. It's because we take a decision to offer Sam additional $1,000 commission, right? We have to see what is going to happen to our income, what is going to happen to our expenditure, and that is what we call a relevant one. So they are basically future costs. It's not something that you have already incurred. What happens if I tell Sam, if I give Sam $1,000 and I tell Sam, you have done a good job, right? So I'm giving you $1,000 as an extra bonus, but Sam, I expect you to sell 110,000 units. Already I have given you the $1,000, right? I expect you to sell. So whether you sell or not, I have already given you the 1,000. Do you get the point? Whether you sell or not, I have given you the $1,000. Now that is not relevant in that case. So it doesn't matter whether you sell or not, I have given you the $1,000. So that is what we call a sunk cost or already a cost incurred.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, now it's okay.
Yeah. Now I was telling, earlier I told Sam, if you sell extra 10,000, I promise you 1,000. Right? But hello. 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 Hello.
Yes, I can hear. What is broke? This it's broke. Can I make a log out and back again?
Okay.
Now it's okay.
Is it all right?
I'll just log out and back again, just for 1 minute.
Yeah, okay. Hello.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Now can you hear me?
yes.
Yeah. So we were talking about this relevant cost matter. So the example what I took was Sam is promised, right? If you sell 0 units, still you get a $5,000. If you sell 10,000 units, still you get 5,000. So the relevant cost is 0 here. If you sell 50,000, still you get $5,000. If you sell 100,000, still you get $5,000. But then I said if you sell 110,000 units, I give you $6,000. So the relevant cost to move from 100 to 110,000 is $1,000. Correct? Hello? Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello. Problem, no?
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I was telling you was okay, from when you go from 100 to 110, I pay you $1,000 extra, and that is what we call the relevant cost. Right? So that is what I say. So it's a future promise. It's a future thing. Let's assume I don't promise you, I pay you 6,000. And I pay you 6,000 and say, Sam, now you have done so well, right? So I'm going to give you 6,000 and I expect you to sell 110, 120. So in other words, even if whether you sell or not, I have promised you 6,000 now. Whether you sell 110, it doesn't matter. I have promised. It's already a promised one. A promised or incurred. I have already given you. So in that case, it won't become relevant for my decision. Because whether you sell 100 or 110 or 120 or 190, still you get 6,000. So from 5,000, you have moved to 6,000, not on condition, but it's already a sunk cost. It's a promise. So in that case, it's not a relevant cost. It becomes a relevant cost only if it's something which you have to earn or which you have to spend only if something happens. What we call a condition. Correct?
Okay.
So that is what basically we were talking about on the relevant cost, and that is why the relevant cost becomes very important. So they are future costs, they are future revenues, they are incremental or differential or something which is coming up as a separate one. And also the third one, it's a cash flow. So it's a future cost, it's a future one, it's an incremental or additional, and also it is a cash flow. So things like depreciation will not come up because the relevant thing is all about the cash flow. So only the cash items you take it into the account. So that's what we were looking at earlier. And with that one, what we realized was, so the relevant cost is a change that is happening and we have to make certain decisions. So we look at the relevant cost, which is going to maximize the shareholder wealth, and decisions are taken on that basis. So it's basically the future cost, future cash flows, and it's all about the incremental, right? So they are incremental ones. So the common cost can be ignored, and also the relevant costs are cash flow items. So that is what we have been discussing all this. So the item like depreciation, notional cost will not come. Surely the variable cost is a relevant cost, because if you are producing per unit, shall we say the variable cost? Variable cost is what? Material cost, labor cost, and variable overhead. So let's assume to produce one particular unit it takes $5, $3 direct labor, and variable overhead is $2 or $10. So if you produce one unit, the cost is 10. If you produce 2 units, cost is 20. 3 units, cost is 30. So the relevant cost is the incremental cost, which is $10. Every time when you increase the production, you have to incur extra $10, and that cost is what? That is what we call the variable cost. So the variable cost becomes a relevant cost. It's always a relevant cost. Unless it is told otherwise, generally it's a relevant cost. Because with the increase in the activity, your cost is going up, and that becomes a relevant cost. But overheads will not be a relevant cost up to a particular point. Whether you produce 1 unit, overhead will be 100,000. Whether you produce 2 units, overhead will be 100,000. Whether you produce 3 units, overhead will be 100,000. So the relevant cost for the overheads will be 0. 0. So the moment you take the decision to produce, there will be a relevant cost of 100,000. Because if you are not producing anything, 0, you will not have any fixed cost. But the moment you start producing, the relevant cost will be 100,000. So fixed cost, relevant cost will be 100,000. But when you go for the second unit, still the fixed cost will be 100,000. So the relevant cost will be 0. So relevant cost is 100,000. So still the fixed cost is 100,000. Even if you go for the second unit, the relevant cost is 0. Understand? Yeah?
Yes.
Right. So that's what basically the relevant cost is all about. So then what we look at is, we look at what is called non-relevant cost. So if the relevant cost is the incremental cost, non-relevant cost is simply the cost that is not changed, or the cost that is not changed by the decision. So it's already a sunk cost, right? So that's a non-relevant cost. It is already incurred. So whether you make the decision to produce or not, it doesn't matter. You have already taken it on a rent, the premises for 100,000. So it doesn't matter whether you produce 1 unit, 2 units, or even 0 unit, because already you have decided to buy that premises, rent it out for 100,000. So you have made a decision. So because you have made a decision for 100,000, it's sunk cost. So it doesn't matter whether you produce 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, it's a 0 cost. Relevant cost is 0. Right? So that's a non-relevant cost. Already committed cost. Right? Already I have promised you, Sam, if you do sales, I will pay you $5,000. It's a committed cost. Right? Whether you do sales or not, it doesn't matter. I have promised you, I have committed your $5,000 salary, and therefore it's not relevant. So when it doesn't matter whether I ask you to do 10,000 units or 15,000 units, it doesn't matter, because it is committed and it is 5,000. So it's a non-relevant cost. Then the fixed cost. The fixed cost, as I said, the 100,000 or the 200,000, already you have taken a machine, or maybe you are absorbing overheads on a particular basis, and that is already there. So therefore it is not a relevant cost. But because of your new decision, right, because you want to produce a new product, if you have to hire a new supervisor, then it becomes, even though it's a fixed overhead, it becomes a relevant cost. Why? Because you are now introducing a new factory supervisor, and that man must be paid a higher salary, and even though it's a fixed expenditure, it's relevant because it is arising because of your decision. So you have to be very intelligent to know what is relevant and what is not relevant. Depreciation, surely it is not relevant. Why? Because it is not a cash item. Because in the SIMA definition, the relevant cost which is going to affect the cash flow. So depreciation is not going to affect the cash flow, and therefore it should be ignored. An opportunity cost. So whenever we make a decision, there is something what we call an opportunity cost. Now, look for you, right? You're working. right? If you have to take leave and come for the class, there's an opportunity cost involved because you have lost 1 day's leave. So that's an opportunity cost. But if you do it on a normal your holiday, do the class, then there is no opportunity cost because nothing, no opportunity lost. Maybe your leisure time is lost, but that's all, no cost involved. So that is what we call an opportunity cost. So you have to look at whether there is an opportunity we are losing because we are going to do this decision. So it may come up in form of this like this. Like let's assume that you are selling a particular product at $10. $10 and you are selling 10,000 units. 10,000 units. So you are getting 100,000. You get a new order which you can do it at $9. Right? Because that man is not prepared to pay you $10. He is prepared to pay you $9. Okay, so that's a good thing. Right? You can sell another 5,000 units at $9. So you can get 45,000. But if you try to do that one, this man who was buying from you for $10, he might come and say, hey Sam, you are selling for that pen at $9. I also want it at $9. You get the point, right? So
Yes.
the moment you make that decision to sell it at 45,000 to that fellow, you will lose an opportunity here. You can't get the 100,000. Now you also will get from this man also only how much? 90,000. 90,000, right? Because earlier you were selling for that man at $10. Now he says, hey Sam, if you're selling to Kuma at 9, I also want it at 9. So all the products what you sell for 10 into 10, 100,000, now you have to sell it at 9 into 10, 90,000. So you lose an opportunity of making that extra 10,000. From the 100,000, it drops down to 90. So your opportunity you lose is 10,000. Right? You lose an opportunity of 10,000. The opportunity of making 100,000 has become 90,000. Why? Because you decided to sell it to me at $9. So, of course, you can see the decision will be still a good decision because you can sell 5,000 units to another person, get 45,000. Although you are losing 10,000 here, still your net gain will be 35,000. It's a good decision, isn't it? You lose the opportunity of making extra 10,000 from customer A, but it doesn't matter because from the customer B you are going to make 45,000. So losing 10,000 is good enough because the net result is a 35,000 still a gain. Now that is what we call a relevant decision, a right decision. But let's assume this man is only buying 5,000 units. Not 5,000 units. This man is only buying 500 units. 500 units. So in that case, your gain is 9 into 500, only 4,500. Correct?
Yes.
He's going to buy only 500 units, not 5,000 units, not 500 units. So 9 into 500, 4,500. But the moment he sells for 500, this man is telling, hey, you sold it for him at 9, give it to me also at 9. So then, my gosh, on a 10,000, I'm going to come down from 100 to 90. So I lose 10,000. So by trying to gain 4,500, I have lost the 10,000. So here, not a good decision to make. I should not come down and sell it at 500 units at 9. Because if I do that one, I lose the opportunity of making 10,000 from the other customer. Do you see the point? This is what we call the relevant. So the opportunity cost can become a relevant cost, right? On the other hand, let's assume Mr. A, right, is not bothered, right? Mr. B is asking at 9,500, 4,500. Mr. A is not bothered. He is prepared to pay you 10. So then in that case, no opportunity loss. Still you can sell it at 100, the 100, and you can also make another 4,500. Do you get the point?
Yes.
Do you get the point? In that case, the relevant cost is 0 because you don't have a relevant cost. because you are not going to lose the opportunity. You can still sell it for 100 because Kuma is not going to object. Right? Kuma is not going to object for you selling it to for some other person for 509. Right? So in that case, you can get 100,000 from Kuma, 4,500 from that man. You are at an advantage. So the relevant cost is, the opportunity cost is 0. But because you are going to sell it to so and so, if you have to reduce the Kuma's price by 10,000, then there's a big opportunity cost of losing 10,000 to gain 4,500, not worthwhile. On the other hand, to lose 10,000, get 45,000, it's a worthwhile thing. So this is what we call decision making. You have to look at, finally, ultimately, because of your decision, what's going to happen to your business? Will it increase your contribution or will it reduce your contribution? If it is increasing, go ahead. If it is reducing, forget about it. Clear? Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you. Right, yes, okay. So that's what we call an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. So the opportunity cost is basically a very important concept in your decision making. It is what is foregone. What is the best alternative that is foregone? So it's not only just alternative that is being foregone, but is the best alternative that is being foregone. Because you are going to do something, and what are you going to sacrifice? So if you are going to come for a tuition class during the office hours, right? During office day, what is the best thing that you are going to forego? Maybe your salary, right? So that is your opportunity cost. Maybe you are going to forego not only the salary, but something better than the salary. Maybe a bonus. So that is the opportunity cost. So whatever that the best thing that is going to forego is your opportunity cost. So for example, let's look at like this one, Sam. You have a raw material, right, which has cost you $10. $10. This raw material can be used to produce a product called A, or a product called B, or a product called C. This raw material. This is a scarce raw material. You have only 100 units of this raw material in your store. If you produce the product A, you can get a contribution of $8. If you produce product B, you can get a contribution of $5. If you do the product C, you can get a contribution of $3. Right? So you can use that product, the raw material called X, and either you can use it to produce A or B or C. If you produce A, you can get an $8 contribution. If you produce B, you can get a $5 contribution. If you do product C, you get a $3 contribution. Now, if you don't have any problems, what is the product you will do? What is the product you will do? A, B, or C? What product will you? A, yes. Because that is going to bring you the best contribution, isn't it? Right? But let's assume this is, we have only 100 units of raw material. But you know, your Dubai king or the sheikh is asking, he wants the product B. He wants your company to manufacture product B, right? So he is telling you, he's telling you to manufacture product C, right? He is telling you to manufacture product C. So when the king of Dubai or the sheikh of Dubai asks, you can't refuse it. You have to produce it. Correct? You have to produce the product. You can't say, I'm going to make a $8 contribution, $5 contribution. You have to produce this $3 one. So if you try to do that one with that raw material, what is your lost contribution? What is your lost contribution? Right? You could have done the A, which would have given you 8, but you are doing C, which will mean that you are losing a contribution of $5. 8 minus 3. 8 minus 3. If you do the B, you will lose 8 minus 5, $3. So you have to look at, well, because you are going to look at because you are going to do the C dollar product or the C product, what is the best what you are going to forego? That is your opportunity cost. Because you are doing C, what is best you are going to forego? The best what you are going to forego is the A one, isn't it? Not the B,
Yes.
the A, because I could have done the A. But because I am doing the C, I lose the opportunity of doing the A. And when I lose that opportunity, I lose the contribution of A. So I must compare that one, right? I must compare that one. A. 8 minus 3. I can get 3. So my lost opportunity is 5. So that is a opportunity cost for me when I make the decision to do the C. Right? When I make the decision to do the C, the relevant cost is how much? The relevant cost is the $3, which, right? The relevant cost is $5. $5. That is what I'm going to lose, right? Because I could have got a contribution of 8, but now I'm down to a contribution of 3. So because I'm doing a job for the king of Dubai, I lose $5, and that is what I call a relevant cost. So you have to remember, it is the best that you forego. Because you can argue it and say, hey, I can do the B, which is only going to bring you 5. So 5 minus 3 is 2. No, that's not what you are going to lose. What you are going to lose is the best alternative. So sometimes the examiner might tell you have 2 alternatives. So you must look at what is the best what you are going to forego. And that is what you should consider as the relevant cost. Is it clear for you? Yeah?
Yes, clear for me.
Right, okay. So that's what we call, the opportunity cost. So it basically, as I said, it is the profit or contribution, the best profit or contribution that is foregone by not taking the next best alternative. I should have done the productive, but I did not do the productive for good reasons, but because of that I have lost a $5 contribution, and that is my opportunity cost. So similarly, because this is basically very important, as I said, when the resources are scarce, like in that case, they had only 100 units of raw material. I could have used it to do the A, I could have used it to do the B, I could have used it to do the C, but I would have preferred to do A, but I was compelled to do the C, and therefore, what I lost is the opportunity of doing A, and therefore that is what I lost. So best alternative. So the opportunity cost is defined as the value of the benefit sacrificed when one course of action chosen in preference to another alternative. So the foregone benefit from the best rejected course of action. So the word that I'm underlining is the best rejected course of action. So this is a very, very important concept of your opportunity cost. So maybe that you have a particular raw material, for example, right? Let's assume that you have a particular raw material, and that raw material that is available in the stores can be used to produce a product which is going to bring you a $7 contribution, or can be sold out, can be sold in the market for, shall we say, $15. $15. So what is better for you? You can do the product and get a $7 contribution, or can sell this at the market for $15. So this is the sale value. You can sell the raw material as it is, even though it has cost 10. So you can say the cost 10 doesn't matter. I can use it and make a product which gives me a $7 contribution, but I can sell as it is and make a $15 thing. What is better for me? What is better for me?
B?
Yeah, the better for me is to sell it out, isn't it? Without producing the product, sell the raw material. Sell the raw material and collect 15. But I decide, instead of selling, to manufacture the product. I want to manufacture. So the two alternatives I have is either to sell the raw material or to manufacture the product. If I manufacture, I get a $7 contribution. If I sell, I get a $15 money. So I have taken the second alternative. I have taken the to manufacture the product. So by doing that one, what am I foregoing? I'm foregoing a best contribution of what I could have made a $15. So if I manufacture this product now, Sam, right? If I decide to manufacture, the relevant raw material cost is not 10, it is 15. This is what I'm trying to explain it to you. Because I could have sold that raw material for 15. So even though the real cost is 10, the relevant cost is 15 because this is my opportunity I have. I can sell the raw material and get 15, or I can do the product and make a 7 contribution. So I have to think in terms of the foregone thing, which is a $15, and that is my relevant cost of raw material, even though the true cost is 10. This is what makes relevant cost a little bit complicated, but it makes a very wise decision for you to make. You can think the cost is 10. Let's assume that you can sell this product at 17, and you can say the cost is 10, so we can make a contribution of 7, which is a good thing, right? That is what this scenario is. But I can sell without doing anything and make 15. I can sell without doing anything and get the 15. So what is better, 7 or 15? 15 is better, isn't it? Here I can get only 7. 7 or 15, which is better? 15 is better. So if I decide to use that raw material in producing the good, I can't put 10 as the cost. I must put 15 as the cost. So you can see what's going to happen. Selling price is 17. The raw material cost is not 10. It is 15. It is 15. So you can see once you put 15, your contribution comes down to 2. Your contribution comes down to 2. Whereas you could have just sold it and got a 15. So this is what the difference is. So this is why the relevant costing becomes very, very important for us, because the relevant raw material cost, even though it is 10, it's not 10, it is the relevant raw material cost should be 15, because that is the price I can sell it and get it, right? So 17 is my selling price, 15 is the raw material cost that I should put it up, because that's the cost that I can get it. So this is what I'm trying to explain it as the opportunity cost, which is a very, very important principle we need to learn all the time. So this is what we call the opportunity cost. Yeah, right. So opportunity cost, as I said, it's basically the foregone one. It's a profit, and that is what we call the best course of action. So then we have something called notional cost. So notional cost and opportunity costs are somewhat similar, right? Now it's like a rent, right? You are paying a rent of 100,000 for a particular building, right? And this building may be occupied by the Unit A division, Unit B division, and Unit C division, right? Maybe the floor area or whatever it is. So you might decide to shut down the Unit B division because it's not making a profit for you. You want to shut down. And if you shut down that Unit B division, if you can save rent, from 100,000, if it is going to come down to 60,000 the rent, then of course there's a relevant saving of 40,000 by shutting down. By shutting down, you can get a relevant saving of 40,000. But on the other hand, let's assume even if you shut down, you still have to pay the 100,000 rent. Although you shut down, you can't split the organization, you have to still pay the 100,000 rent. In that case, the relevant cost is 0. Relevant cost is 0 because you are not going to save anything. So by shutting down, you are not going to save anything. Even though notionally, you may be charging rent to the particular Unit A 50,000 and 40,000 to Unit B and 10,000 to Unit C. by shutting down, if you can save in real cash flow terms from 100,000 to 60,000, then it becomes relevant. But if by shutting down, if you can't save, then it is a zero relevant cost. Right? So you should be able to actually identify a foregone opportunity, and that is what we call. So that is like opportunity cost again. So as I said, if nobody is willing to pay rent, not an opportunity cost. Right? If you can't rent out that balance part by shutting down the bay, if you can't rent out that balance part, then it is not an opportunity cost. Zero opportunity cost. No one to buy, no one to pay you. But on the other hand, if you can get some fellow to pay you, then that becomes your notional cost, and that becomes a relevant cost for you. So generally, that is bad. So then there are certain costs that are avoidable. So because if that particular activity or the service sector or the sector is not existing, we can avoid that cost. So surely variable cost is avoidable cost. If you are not going to produce, you don't want material, you don't want labor, you don't want variable overhead. So variable cost is avoidable cost. But not only variable cost, you might have certain fixed cost which could be avoidable. Maybe that you have a factory in 3 different locations, or 3 offices in Dubai, in Bahrain, and in India, right? So, and you are paying rent of not a rent, you are paying staff salaries of, shall we say, 200,000 for all these people. Altogether, all the people A, B, and C, you are paying 200,000 salary, right, to the CEO. He's looking after Dubai office, he's looking after the Bahrain office, he's looking after the Indian office, and he's paid 200,000 salary for a month or a year or whatever it may be. So you decide to shut down the Indian operation because Indian operation is not profitable. But still, you have to have the CEO. Still, you have to have the CEO. Still, you have to pay the 200,000. So the relevant cost of shutting down C in terms of CEO's cost is 0, because you are not going to save anything.
Yes.
You are not going to save anything. But let's assume that you have a finance people, right? In Dubai office, you have finance people who are paid 50,000. In Bahrain office, you have finance people paid 40,000. And Indian office, you have finance people paid 60,000. The moment you shut down the Indian operation, you can avoid this 60,000 cost, right? Because you don't need an Indian financial accountant, because Indian operation is no longer there. So you can save 60,000. Now that becomes a relevant cost. That's an avoidable cost, and that becomes a relevant cost. So can you see the difference? The CEO's cost is not a relevant cost, because whether you shut down India or not, you have to still have the CEO and pay the fellow. But if you shut down the Indian operation, you can avoid the finance manager's cost of India. You can't avoid the Bahrain finance manager's cost. You can't avoid the Dubai finance manager's cost. But you can avoid the Indian finance manager's cost. Correct?
Yes.
So that becomes a relevant cost. So that is what we call avoidable cost. Avoidable cost. So shutting down a department, and that what can be saved as a result of the shutdown. Finance manager's salary can be saved. If you have an Indian office, that rent can be saved because you will not need another Indian office, right? But the head office rent, you can't save it because your head office is in Dubai. So whether you have the Indian operation or not, you have to have the head office of Dubai, and that rent you can't save. But Indian operation specifically, you can save it, and that's avoidable. So that cost, labor cost, like the finance division staff or the rent occupied in the Indian office, can be saved, and those becomes relevant costs, right? So they are very specific overhead costs, but you can be looked at. But as I said, you may be a portion in a part of the Dubai head office cost to the Indian operation. But that is not a relevant cost, because whether you have the Indian office or not, the Dubai rent will continue, and therefore it is not relevant. So now you will get a good understanding what this relevant cost is all about. So it's all to do with the incremental cash flow. So let's move from here and look at another few things the next time when we meet. So we have to fix up another date, Sam.
Yeah.
So when can we have
Now
another?
I am in holiday.
All right, okay. All right.
Okay. Yes, now yes, I start my annual leave from today.
Oh, good.
So 15 days.
All right.
Yes.
So your mornings also you're free now.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah, mornings
Yes.
also free. So can we have today's Monday? Today is Monday. Can we have on Thursday? How about 8 o'clock your time in the morning?
Okay, no, sure.
8 o'clock on Thursday morning?
Yes.
Yeah. So shall we have it 8 o'clock on Thursday morning? And let me put up another time if I can. Friday, how are you at 8 o'clock?
Also, no problem.
Yeah, so shall we put Thursday and Friday both days at 8 o'clock in the morning, right?
Thursday.
Thursday and Friday, Dubai time, 8 o'clock in the morning.
No problem.
Right, so we will meet Thursday and Friday 8 o'clock because I want to finish as much as possible. During your holiday time, we'll try to do as much as possible classes and try to finish up a lot of work.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so I will meet you on Thursday and Friday at 8 o'clock morning.
All right.
Okay, see you. Right, bye.
See you.
Bye, bye, bye.
All right.